Hi everyone, welcome to the Real Talk where we deep dive into conversations without any filter. I am Harsh
I'm Nagraj.
and today we are joined by Sivakumar Meyappan who is currently serving as Chief Operating Officer at Sharjah Cricket Board. His journey has been very interesting. He started with tech field, then moved to sport industry, came to UAE and quickly rose to the ranks of the Chief Operating Officer at the Sharjah Cricket Board at a very young age. Thank you for joining us, Sivakumar.
Thank you, Harsh, and thank you, Nagraj.
Yeah. So why don't you go and introduce yourself, your journey? How did you move to sports industry? When did you come to UAE? And how does it feels to be part of such a iconic stadium?
So it all started from the time I was doing my college. Actually, from the school time, I wanted to play cricket, and that's how all us Indians are actually. So that's how all it started and everything. But by the time I finished college, I was pretty sure that I want to do something in sports. Don't want my career to be a 9 to 5 job in front of a laptop and wait for the weekends to come. Because in sports there is no weekends. That is what they say. There is no weekend in sports. But I would love to do that rather than being a 9 to 5 job. So pretty much I wanted to move at that time itself. But my parents were like, how a middle class, that too coming from Tamil Nadu, education is the most important thing. They are like, you did good in your engineering, so go and do your job, which I got placed as well. So I went to work on as a program analyst in Cognizant for pretty much 3 months. But from the time I joined itself, I told my it was just to console my parents at the by the way. So just to make sure they are not there should not be any bad taste or anything that I didn't follow what they told and everything. Then I moved to UAE at a pretty young age, 21. As I finished my college, just 3 months of Cognizant, I just directly moved here. I had a weird, or I would say crazy, dream of becoming an match official. Actually, I wanted to become an umpire. That is the reason I moved to UAE, because all I saw in Google and everything was ICC headquarters is here. So I just came here, just somehow I will get into ICC for match refereeing or umpiring, basically for umpiring. But unfortunately, after coming to UAE, I realized like it is not how it is. Like there is a cricket board involved. You have to come through a cricket board, then you go on to represent the nation which you are representing. Then ICC will pick people from that and everything. Then it is a big journey altogether, which I realized at the starting time itself in UAE. Then I was like, anything I do, I have to do in sports. So I got into a role called indoor umpiring. Actually, I joined as an indoor umpire in United Pro Sports, which is a indoor facility in Al Quoz first. From there, I got into an even arena manager of that place, like within like a short period of a year, because umpiring was not the only thing I was doing. Actually, I was managing the events, corporate events, all such things. But at the same time, side by side, I was doing my umpiring courses. I was doing my coaching courses. I was doing scoring. You ask me anything in cricket, I have started and done each and every aspect of it. Let it be manual scoring or digital scoring, which you see in your Cricket Heroes app, or you see the big screens on the stadiums. All those scorings, everything I used to do and manage events. Everything I started doing and everything. After pretty much of almost 4 years, I worked at that place. Then only I got an opportunity at Sharjah Cricket to come and join as a senior operations executive. So I joined there, and from there it was COVID time. So I joined in 2020 February. So from there it was like 6 months of work from home. So you think about in cricket what you do work from home. It was like just 6 months. We are just hoping things get better and everything. Then that is where IPL moved from India to UAE. That was the first big event for me, coming from an indoor facility to an international cricket stadium, and then you are presented with a international franchise leagues such as IPL. It was difficult to comprehend everything at that point of time, but then I was like, I know my ability and everything. Even if I don't know the background of how the things are getting done and everything, I know I can learn pretty quick, fast, and I know I can hard work towards that. That was always there. That is how I have reached all this time in my 4 years in UAE also. So the contacts are there and everything. So IPL 2020 happened. We did it very successfully without any. Oh, there was a lot of restrictions during that time with bio bubble and all those COVID times. Tests every 2 days and everything. COVID tests in every 2 days. All these things, and we did a very pretty much, because the world of sport was not yet started at that point of time. If you remember, IPL was the first league to happen at that time, and we pretty much, I'm happy that everyone worked in the event, and it was pretty closed door. There was no audience, spectators allowed and everything, and we are the only ones watching the match. It was like only for us. So that kind of feel and everything. And pretty much then the next year followed, 2021 also. We were expecting IPL, but then India got better and everything. So they moved the IPL to India. Suddenly something happened when they did the first set of matches, and they were moving to the second set of matches after 28 games. There was some issue with the players getting COVID or something like that, and IPL had to be called off. Then again we got an IPL followed by a World Cup. So that was like, for a country like UAE, which is not a participating nation in the main league, and to host, that was the first time ever a country was hosting, not being a part of playing nation actually. So that was like pretty much big thing, and all efforts goes to Mr. Bukatir, who have started this Sharjah cricket 40 years back. Because when he started, we don't know whether he knew that a World Cup would come one day to this nation. But that is what maybe visionaries are like. We cannot say anything about it actually, because he did 40 years back, and it's reaping until now. We are seeing the fruits actually, what he has done, the hard work, what he has done, what he has brought to UAE cricket. Now we are having World Cups, we are having ILT20, any ICC event which gets moved to UAE for any last minute thing, we are ready for it. And all credit goes to Mr. Bukatir for this.
Fantastic. Great. It's actually quite an interesting journey. I'm going to start with what you mentioned. You wanted to be a match official,
Yeah.
and you found out ICC is headquartered in UAE,
Yeah.
and you decided to take a plunge, leave your job, and come here.
Yeah.
Did you have any connections? Did you know anyone in UAE at that point in time?
I don't know anyone actually. I
Okay.
didn't know, and somehow we got the contacts of my friends, and I was sharing one person from my place, where I come from, Karaikudi in Tamil Nadu. So one of the person from that my place was actually traveling back home. So he gave me his bed space. Out of, there were 8 people, maybe half of this room, maybe, or not even half of this, maybe 1/3 of this room, and we were having 8 people, and he was going for vacation at that time, so I had to fill in, and I had to pay his part of fees and everything. So I kept it very minimal in terms of my stay and everything and all those stuff. And
So,
yeah, that's how it
looking
started.
back
Yeah.
at the age of 21, if you're presented with a similar kind of a situation, would you actually come better prepared, or you have no regret and you actually will do exactly the same thing what you did?
See, I cannot answer that, because that was at that point, at that given moment, my gut feel was like, whatever, that maybe that age factor, I was not matured enough to think ahead of, like, I didn't want to think too much. I would say it was good. I always had seniors who were friends with me. In fact, like, always from my school times, when I'm in 6th standard, I always make friends with 10th standard people. When I'm in college, I passed out students. When I'm in first year of work, I was working in my final year, I was working in part-time. So I used to teach corporate guys football practice and everything, because they are not having the time to come in, or they don't have the friends to come together and play in Bangalore. So I was working in a startup. So I used to meet a lot of corporate people who have been in 15 to 20 years of work, and they just enjoy to talk with me as a person
you
and
out.
everything. So when they talk about this, when I asked such questions, they always told me, if you want to follow your career, start from the beginning. Don't do 2-3 years of IT or whatever job you do. You go get sucked into that. You will be very comfort with the salary what they are paying and everything. It will be difficult for you to come out and start from the scratch. So that was the biggest thing which I took.
It actually plays back whatever our previous episode guest was Venki.
Yeah.
He did mention start young.
Yeah.
If you want to get into sports, especially, it resonates. I'm going to quickly switch gears into, while growing up, like all of us, and especially when I was growing up, Sharjah Cup used to be the tournament, especially for anyone to watch India, Pakistan play, and there could be other nations also playing that. And Sharjah Cup, Sharjah Stadium is iconic. They've got a legacy for cricket, as you rightly said. Before all these big tournaments, tri-series, everything was happening, that was happening.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be part of such iconic stadium, and especially I think they're hitting one by one all the records.
Yeah.
The recent one being, I think, the first venue to host 300 international games.
Yeah.
That is massive.
Yeah.
Given that you wanted to be a match official, you came here, you went through playing various roles, and then now you are a COO of Sharjah Cricket Stadium.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be part of it?
It's always a nice feeling to be part of such an iconic venue, actually. But to be frank, when I joined Sharjah Cricket, I didn't know that this was the venue that Sachin's Desert Storm happened. I know it was Desert Storm innings and everything because back then I was 4-5 years old. I enjoyed the cricket because my parents were watching and everything. I enjoyed that victory and everything and all those stuff at that age. And I have watched in Neo cricket for almost maybe 1,000 times. That replay keeps on coming in 10 cricket and all 10 sports. Every time that match gets played and everything. And after I joined, then only I realized this match was happened here. After seeing a photo or a video in YouTube or something, then I realized, oh, that was Sharjah Cricket.
I think he, if my memory serves right, I think he almost destroyed the career of Kasparov. Was it Kasparov?
I am not. I was too young to understand all that.
So that
at
was
that
a
point of time,
classic
actually, to be
game. I
frank.
think no one will ever be
It
able
was
to
his
forget.
birthday, I believe.
Yeah.
Kasparov.
And it's
birthday
back
as
to
well.
back.
Yeah.
I think the previous game we had to get qualified,
Yeah.
and he did a fabulous job, Desert
Yeah.
Storm. And then again in the finals, he
Yeah.
came up with a winning performance.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Now, talking about your role, you started as event manager and quickly moved to the ranks of COO at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. Or so how do your day looks like, and specifically when the stadium is hosting matches, and there are times when there are no activities happening around.
See, to put it in simpler words, I would say like the before event, it is like our household days, how you were in a normal day, how things are at your house. That is how the stadium is. We have a set domestic cricket happening. We have a gym facility, we have a swimming facility, we have a indoor badminton and paddle facility, and we run our own academy. This is what we do throughout the year. But when it comes to events, it is like at the same house when there is a marriage, how the things change from like, it is not the marriage day, what leads to the marriage. It's like a festival kind of stuff where everyone comes in, you prepare the things, you have to plan lot of stuffs, A to Z, who's managing what and everything. Then you plan the budget. That is how what exactly happens. First you have to have a budget to start with. Then you do who are the vendors, and then you finalize the vendors on the marriage day, how the things are going to be. And the day before the marriage day, I don't think anyone sleeps. That is how the match day -1, we call it MD -1. So we don't sleep. We probably sleep at morning 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and we have to get up at early 8 o'clock morning, because to make sure that things are going proper and everything. So that is how the event and pre-event differences are.
One observation and one question.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting to see how you gave an example of marriage. By the way, he recently got married, okay? So congratulations on
That's why
that.
that smile on his face.
Okay, and I hope the smile stays the same.
Yeah, sure.
That was an observation. The question I had is, before such large scale event, I mean, for example, now ICC Women's T20 World Cup happened. Is there a concept of dry run, one day before there is some kind of a check which is done, whether it comes to the way pitch has been curated, security guards, vendors who needs to come and sell? What happens one day before? What kind of a checks happen?
It is mostly, I would say, match day -2, match day -3 are the major days where most of the work happens. Match day -1 is all about fact checks of all the departments, which is aligned or not, because each department would be doing their work separately until that point, and we coordinate stuffs we put all together at that point, and we make sure that everything is smoothly happening. So that
Can
is
you
a
give us an
fact check work.
example? Take a department and give us an example.
So let's say for broadcast, they come and do the de-rigging, what we call as de-rigging, where they bring their broadcast equipments and start setting up, putting their wires and lines and making sure that internet is right and everything. And on the match day -1, they have to make sure they shoot the things and see whether to go live, everything is normal. So they do it for 2-3 hours. So that is broadcast part. At the same time, the LED perimeter boards which you see, that is also comes in 2 days or 3 days 3-4 days before the event they start setting up. So that also has to go, because the broadcaster has to know which sponsor's logo will come at what time and everything. So when this is happening, we have to check our generator, which is in the back end from the stadium side, because if anything goes wrong, the generator runs or not. So we run the floodlights and the generator at the same time, which also happens 2-3 days before the setup and everything happens, and we run it on match day -1. So, and then the security. When you take security, we have to make sure all the gates where the public is gonna come and all those stuffs, and how they are going to be, how their tickets are going to be scanned, how the people in guests in car will come in, all those things. So when that is happening, you need access zones, which we call like PMOA is one zone where players and match officials only can go. They will have a different accreditation card. Without an accreditation, no one can come into the stadium on the match day also, match day -1. So basically, when the securities are in place and when we are doing a check with the securities, how the zones are and the access are, there will be accreditation points where this is what is zone 1 is, let's say PMOA. Zone 2 is field of play, and zone 3 is broadcast room. So every accredit card will have zones mentioned in it, 1, 2, 3. So based on that, the securities has to understand which zone I can go in and everything, because all those signages will come maybe match day -2 or match day -1 only. This all come onto place because there will be a lot of work going on. So you'll not probably know, like if you do all this 1 week before, you'll not see the stadium as a stadium at all. Like I told, like a marriage function, you go 1 week before to the function hall
You can't,
and see the things. You cannot understand where the mic is going to be, where the speaker is going to be, because when you put a speaker also, you cannot put the speakers very close to public, so it will become noise for everyone sitting close to them. So we have to see all that aspects on match day -2 and match day -1, and make sure entertainment stage which is there, so we make sure that sound system is working properly. All this, maybe I might have missed out maybe another probably 10-15 more categories, but these are the major 6-7, this like this, all these things comes
integrate
together.
and bring together.
And then cleaning is another, housekeeping is another department, catering is another department. We have to make sure that the caterers have set up their buffets, all the things are sorted for them, they have the correct, exact power supply what they require, because the thing a small microwave oven can short the whole thing in one place. We cannot have that things happening. So all these things keeps happening, and all this come together, and we do a fact check, and maybe probably close at 9 o'clock at night. That is when the other things start, small leftover things. The fact check happens maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we finish the things. Then comes 100 other things, like small things. You have to make sure that you are perfectly right for the next tomorrow's game. That is how it is.
So a lot of execution goes, before the show day, right? But there will be days definitely when not much activity is happening. And I just want to understand, because the set of matches are already scheduled for almost 6 months in a year, but there will be time when there are no activities happening. What is your role look like? Do you try and sponsor deals for the next events? Do you try and see, okay, how can I bring some more matches around the world, get this venue selected for, let's say, some matches or some leagues out there? So what you do, around these work streams?
See, as an international venue, for us, we don't have a standard FTP as such, because we don't know like
What's FTP?
FTP is future tour programs. So we don't know what is because we are not like the test playing nations like India or South
ICC
Africa.
calendar.
They have which are the bilaterals they are going to play. Maybe soon UAE will come to that place where we know what UAE is going to play in the next 1 year, and which are the home games we are going to host and everything. But then international games as such, the main home test playing nations or the ICC events which happens, all comes because there is some other problem in the hosting country, one or the other issue. That is because 2020 2021 it was COVID issues. 2022 Asia Cup, it was I think Sri Lanka was having bad economics at that point of time, and the later ones, even the recent ICC Women's World Cup was supposed to be in Bangladesh, just moved 1 month back. So we are always ready for such kind of events. Not only Sharjah Cricket Stadium, all the 3 venues in UAE, they are all plug and play. Like the ground is always ready for hosting any such big events actually, because we do operate the stadium throughout the year actually. And as far as Sharjah Cricket, when you ask what we do in the remaining times, it is like we host a lot of domestic crickets. It was one thing which my CEO told when I joined Sharjah Cricket is, he doesn't want the lights to be off at any day. When he comes at the night, the light should be on. That is what we are trying to achieve all this time and everything, except that 1 or 2 months of maintenance time. We are doing almost 250 domestic games in a calendar year in Sharjah Cricket Stadium itself.
So when you say domestic games, it's a local clubs, or do they also have like how we have in India leagues?
Yeah.
What kind of a games
So
happen?
it is like all are club owned. So there are multiple clubs and corporates who sponsor the division players and everything. All the UAE players are being given visa by such companies most of the time, and they are given contracts as well to play the complete season for that particular team and everything.
So tomorrow, if I decide to call all the consulting firms
Yeah.
and want to run a cricket tournament,
Yeah.
I can also hire a Sharjah Cricket Stadium.
Yeah, we are open to all kind of any cricket and any activities which can be hosted at the
And
venue.
will we also get a same kind of a preference like an international game when it comes to pitch curation and all those things?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you cannot picture something which you cannot do anything about. You have to maintain the same standard in terms of preparing, because it is not you who is going to play today and go. Because we throughout the year we have to keep that international standard whether anyone is playing, because we are this thing is even a tape ball cricket happens nowadays, so we host such events also, tennis ball tournaments and everything. Even for
In
that,
the main pitches, they are allowed to
in
play?
the main
Oh,
pitches
fantastic.
also sometimes, not the main wickets of
The-
the side
the
wickets
practice
that we
wickets,
use,
yeah.
but it is all, see, at the end of the day it's not main wicket, it's all the same wickets.
Correct, they
But
also
what we
change.
do is the boundaries are shorter in other
One
wickets,
side
so
or other, yeah.
it is not good for the broadcast, because the camera platforms are very straight. So only that is the reason you choose particular wickets to go for international. But all the wickets are made out of the same clay and mud. So it is not like each wicket is different or something like that. So but the preparation wise, it's the same what we do throughout, and it will be given the same if
Kind
you
of
have
an
to-
importance,
importance,
like,
because see, what we do international event is maybe 30 days a year. The remaining 11 months, you as a client also as good as important to us as any other international event actually. So the preparation stays the same, but then of course based on your event and all these things, and lot of people book our things for corporate events. We do host corporate events and stuff, but now since we are doing a lot of domestic cricket on our own for club cricket, we are not having the ground availability. That is the reason. But even now on Saturdays and Sundays, we have corporates coming and booking and playing their games or any matches or the corporate finals. Any matches happens in around Sharjah or Ajman, their finals or semi-finals, they come and do it in the Sharjah Stadium because of the economics of
and
it.
how do they, if again going back to my example, how do they, an organization or an individual, what is the best way to reach out to Sharjah Cricket to book the ground?
Just Google Sharjah Cricket and you have the landline number, and there is
That's it, as simple as
you
that.
call and tell us what you want. We will give you the mail ID to maybe mail which day and
Specifications and things,
everything,
and
to
then
confirm which format you want to play, how many people are expected to come, because we have to keep everything ready. Like I told, we will be asking a questionnaire of
Okay.
8 to 10 points, whether you need umpires and scorers and water needs to be arranged. All these things we will check with the team, whoever is the organizer is.
So it's
when
like a
they
menu
finish-
card.
So yeah,
they
so we
pick
ask
and choose the
them.
menu,
Yeah,
you
so-
give them the code,
so,
and
yeah.
then it gets booked.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So it's as simple as that.
Yeah. So moving on, I think as cricket is getting more famous and more leagues are happening with T20, with T10s as well, what is your vision when it comes to Sharjah Cricket Stadium for the next 5 years? And are you working on any kind of developments, any innovative ideas to gain more traction for the stadium?
See, like I told, there is no fixed FTP as such, and we cannot rely on international cricket all the time. So that is how, before I joined 4 years back, there was no paddle or badminton facility at the stadium. So we created that indoor facility as well, because my CEO wanted to run the venue throughout the year. We cannot rely on only international events. That was the first thing. Our CEO's vision was that. I would say it's a team's vision and his vision mainly, because that is what we carry, how the things are getting done, that we plan and stuff, but the vision comes from our CEO, the owner of the stadium, and we all align our ideology or our plans according to that to meet that thing actually. So when it comes to international cricket, now we have a fixed calendar of ILT20 happening in Jan-Feb window all the time. So hopefully soon we are also having the rights to conduct our own 90-90 league actually. So
And what is this 1990 league?
it's a 15 overs
15
format.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
90 balls.
90
It
balls.
is basically. So we are working on it and everything. So probably next year you can see that coming to live as
And
well.
domestic teams will be participating, or we will have
It will be same like a franchise league. How ILT20 is, it will be franchise owned league where international players will be part of and all these things. It's same like an ILT20, but instead of a T20 formats, it is a 15 overs because
But
Abu
the league
Dhabi
will be-
T10 happens.
Sorry, but the league will be owned by Sharjah Cricket.
Yes,
Qatar Group
yes.
will own
Qatar
the league.
Group owns the league. Yes.
Okay, so they form the league,
Yeah.
and then obviously they'll get an approval.
It is approved and everything.
It's
the league
approved.
is approved.
So league
and
is
everything.
going to be
So
formed
it
with
is in
number of-
we are structuring the league and everything. So we are in the stage of planning and stuff. So now that ILT20 is also a big success, T10 happens. So another format for UAE. So I think UAE is the first country to host 3 different formats and franchise league format at that level actually.
And it's also going to be broadcasted, and
Everything,
because
as
the
you
international
see.
players will also be playing.
As you see an ILT20 or an
It's
IPL game
just
or
the
anything,
number of
same.
overs.
It's like an T10, Abu Dhabi T10. It's same. Everything is same. Only thing is it will be us. So we will be hosting like
all the matches
all
for
the
the-
matches at Sharjah Stadium itself because of the dynamics of the broadcast and all the other cost which involved with it and everything. So that is the concept we are building and everything. So soon you will get to know that news and everything.
So I have a question on that. Similarly, are there any upcoming plans or programs to develop cricket at a grassroots level? Like for example, when I was having a chat with Venki way back, I mean, you obviously know Venki. So I was asking, why not have something like a junior Premier League?
Yeah.
Maybe having a large scale tournament for schools
Yeah.
or aspiring cricketers who want to move from playing at a domestic level or a league level to be able to start playing for UAE. Is that something which is
See,
being
from
planned?
Sharjah cricket side, we usually do our own CBFS juniors program. The 250 games which I told about seniors, we also do almost 60 games of juniors every year. This is the only year 2024 we missed out because of back-to-back international events and there the ground was not available. Otherwise, we always put in that 60 games of under 11, 14, 16 and 19 category at least, and we make
To
sure
develop
we
the local talent.
and to get an opportunity to play at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. How many kids would get that opportunity?
And their experience is
actually?
different, right?
Yeah,
They're
so
playing
when
in
you're playing in an
international-
international stadium, and that too all the parents can relate to, because whenever a tournament is happening at Sharjah Stadium or a match is happening at Sharjah Stadium, all the parents comes, they put on their own cameras and they live stream themselves to their parents back home. So all those things comes into picture. That is something you cannot and of course that is like a costly affair for us, because we cannot charge the teams much and everything, so we have to do it at a very minimal cost, but still we do it just for the things of like development of cricket.
it keeps moving the business as well.
It is more of, I would not say business side of it is strictly not business for us for sure, because I know the numbers. So it is only for the development of cricket like I told, my CEO wants development in all
His
level,
passion
from
for
grassroots
cricket.
to senior. So he is very passionate about it and he just wants cricket to happen throughout. And apart from that, in our own academy we do something called Academy Premier League, which is like within our academy, it is an inter academy where we do auctions. So we select 4 team owners who are the parents actually sometimes, and the four team captains and coaches as the team mentors, and we do a proper auction like how it happens in an IPL. We give a purse value, but it is all virtual money, it's not actual money, but kids from 13-year-old to 18-19-year-old, they all get into the auction. We make sure the team is all equally balanced and everything. So that's like they get that fun of picking the right players. You have to know the purse value, you cannot burn your purse, all these things they get to learn.
And I
all
think
this
they'll
is-
also look at the stats of the performance.
exactly.
And
So all these things comes into picture. So this is what we do at our level. And apart from that, of course, we have an own academy which runs also, which even the ECB tournaments which happens and everything, we are the only academy who don't charge a single dirham from any of the players for playing. And we own two teams in under 16 and under 19 category, and we don't charge the kids any money.
So I've got 2 questions. The first question is, I think it's a lot of parents in the UAE also not probably very clear in terms of pathway
Yeah.
to play for UAE, right? At different age group, whatever, under 16, under 19, and to the senior team. How does that work? Do they really need to join one of the cricket coaching center? I know a couple of them. I mean, there is one very
Yeah.
popular one in Sharjah, and
Yeah.
then your own stadium runs,
Yeah.
and there are quite a few, right?
Yeah.
Almost, I can say almost 50 plus coaching centers are available.
Yeah.
How does it lead to representing UAE? Is there a pathway which is very structured, because it will be helpful for our viewers and parents who are constantly in search of that one magical club
Yeah.
which has got a pathway to get those kids to
It
represent?
is a pretty much very straightforward approach and pathway program what ECB has created, because of course you have to join a club and play for, you have to represent some club or some team at some point. So if you're a kid of 12 13 years old, that's what, like maybe 10 years old, that's when your cricketing career starts. So there are tournaments from under 11 13 15 where are like domestic tournaments which happens through by different councils at that point. So the academies participate in that. So when you're playing well and everything, then the academies knows which are their best players first of all. So they will represent the main tournaments, because not all the tournaments every team will participate. So in that way the academies will get to know what
Handpick the
talent they
talent.
have and everything. From there ECB constantly runs
Scout,
throughout the
talent
year.
scout.
There is tournament happening, there is an under 16 program, under 19 program, and I think there is also, they are introducing an under 13 or a 14 program also last year. So three programs are running for different age categories by Emirates Cricket Board. So when that is happening, each club, each academy is allowed to participate in a first division or a second division in that. So if you're a club, if a Sharjah Cricket Academy or any other academy is there, they just have to enroll themselves in that tournament and all, and there is no fees as such which ECB charges. Only thing you have to do is make sure you have got your home ground to host the matches, because that is one thing which you have to take care of, to get the ground rent covered. But apart from that, the match officials, everything, balls, everything is managed by Emirates Cricket Board. So you represent that tournament first. In that tournament, whoever is the highest run scorers or whoever
Wicket
it is,
takers and
so that will stay as a stat for you to consider. Apart from that, when this league finishes, most probably in Jan February, in March ECB also comes up with council tournaments, inter-council tournaments, where Sharjah, Ajman, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, all the councils make their own teams. So these boys who have represented the academies, now you have the stats for the Sharjah council or the Ajman council.
to
Okay,
pick.
the academy
Okay.
in my area, in my region, and they're very specific about who can participate in that also. You should have a rental
Tenancy contract in
tenancy
Sharjah.
contract from Sharjah, then only you can represent Sharjah. If not, if you're from Dubai, if you're not selected in Dubai, then Dubai has to give an NOC to Sharjah, because some players have the habit of playing for some other team to get a better chance or what their thing is.
So one question. So even kids with under the age group of 10 or 12 or 14, is there a particular website or somewhere they can go and register themselves, or it is always through academy they need to go
So as
with ECB?
it is like most likely with academy only. You register with academy. So once you enter the tournament in ECB's tournament, you are automatically, your data is there. And once you play one match in, nowadays everything is in Crick Clubs or Crick Heroes all combined. So ECB also follows that same platform, scoring platform for all the tournaments from juniors to seniors level, what they do. So in a click of a button, they can get to know what
All
the
the
stats of
stats.
the players is, and it is useful for us. When ECB does this tournament for different age categories, when the council tournament happens, we pull up our data and see which are the boys on the top 10 who are from Sharjah, because when they come for the selection trials, we try to see their name, whoever is performing good. Then some players are amazing in nets, then you see their track record in the games, it will be very poor. Some players might mess up in the nets in the selection trials, but when you see their track record, they constantly make that 40 runs or 30 runs and might be a good all-rounder. So we scrutinize all these factors and everything, then we select the I would say the Emirates side, each Emirates team and everything, council team. Then they will play against each other. Mostly it happens in Sharjah Stadium and Dubai Stadium, these games. So after that, the winners of this and the losers team, the best 15, 16 or best 20 players are being taken from this whole lot of council matches, inter-council matches. From there, they will be called to UAE camp for juniors under 16 or 19 or seniors, whatever it is, they are being called for the camp at UAE. They will go and train at ICC Academy facility, which is the ECB's facility for UAE cricket. So they train there and everything. From there, the best 15 or 16 gets selected to represent the under 16 or under 19 national side, or the women's team or the men's team. All this happens there. They see a good talent at under 19, then they put you in a seniors team as well. So this is the pathway. It's a very, very straightforward and simple pathway. And recently concluded under 16, I think a bilateral or something. 8 of our boys represented from Sharjah Cricket Academy for the first time, which was a big thing for us, because we
Nurtured the
when we
talent
started
and
and everything at 2020 after COVID, when we started, get 1 or 2 boys from Sharjah into the main team. They always get selected to the probables. To get into the main 15 or 16 squad was always difficult. But this time, a pure dominance in all the formats, what they played and everything. Almost all our 8 boys are being selected in the UAE camp, and also in the national team as well in under 16. And a couple of our boys, Aryansh and Ayan, at the age of 17 and 18 probably, and Ayan was the youngest player to represent in a World Cup game. He was from Sharjah Cricket Academy. So all this adds up to what we do.
the kind
for,
of work which has
cricket.
been done.
Yeah.
It's great to know that Sharjah Cricket is doing a lot to nurture the local talent. Now we want to talk about the fans and the players. Their experiences again are core to any event, right? So what Sharjah Cricket is doing to enhance this experiences of fans, or let's say international players.
See, when you come to that, fans' experience is something which is very important in any part of the world. And as a fan, if I see any game at Sharjah, the one thing is everyone love to come and watch the match at Sharjah Stadium because of its historic things, what have happened, significance, whatever happened in the past. But then when they come to the stadium, you can feel I would say, that vibe. You have that vibe because in a match, if there is a non-match day and an international match with recently happened India-Australia Women's World Cup, we had a full packed crowd. And believe me, that was, I have watched matches in various stadiums, but Sharjah Stadium, I'm not saying it because it's our own, I'm working there or anything, but I felt that goosebumps when people are shouting and when the national anthem was going on and all those stuffs. It was like a different feel altogether. But then specifically to give an fan experience, we have just recently upgraded our lights to LED. Actually, after 25 years, we have upgraded the lights to LED with a DMX effect. So now
what's the DMX effect?
So it's like with the light show you can do in matches which you see in maybe football or some of the IPL games. There is a light show which you can run the program and everything. You give the sound system based on the music, the lights will, based on the tune, it will dance. So it is like such a good this thing. So usually we do it in the innings break, or sometimes between the water break which both the teams have and everything. So we did in recently also in India Australia game as well. And it was like when the light show happens and the entertainment is on, these are the things fans would love to watch. And we are the first one in the Middle East to have a LED light setup with the DMX technology, which can run this light shows. And because of that, we were hosting the opening ceremony of ILT20 last year. So we are wishing this time also we can do. And ICC Women's World Cup also, we hosted the opening ceremony, because this is what usually we were lagging, and we have got that point and everything. So now the opening ceremonies are being held at Sharjah Stadium, because the eyeballs on the opening day or opening ceremony is something huge. So that is how we make sure.
So how does that happen? Is there also a process where Sharjah's Cricket Stadium, if they want to get the opening ceremony to be held in Sharjah Cricket Stadium instead of Dubai or Abu Dhabi, it's a discussion, or how does that happen?
It usually depends with the host country or ICC or ECB, who is hosting it and everything. Mostly they consider all the factors.
They come to consensus.
So you see, like Sharjah is crowd friendly. When I mean crowd friendly, I'm saying it is easy for people to come to the stadium. Actually, it's a walk-in into the stadium for general public I'm talking about, because it's an industrial area, it's in the middle of the city. Anyone can walk in and come to the stadium. There is not much of a struggle. But if you have to go to Abu Dhabi or Dubai, you have to take a taxi or something to reach to the stadium, which itself will cost minimum 40 to 50 dirhams for you to go there, and come back is another 40-50. But here it is not like that. There is a lot of public. It can be easily attracted to come and watch at any point of time for anything. So they always consider the crowd factor, which Sharjah is for actually, because people can come in and everything.
So I have two more questions where I really wanted to get your thoughts. But before getting to the second question, the first question is more of out of curiosity. Being a Sharjah Cricket Stadium COO and who's been involved in cricket as a sport for a long time, I'm pretty sure you must have watched a lot of international players, both men and women, in close quarters. It would be great, from your experience, one or two players who you have had an opportunity to watch them from close quarters as well as have had an interaction. Give us some trivia.
See, I would not name the player as such, but it is like we get to know, like there was a player who was practicing at the venue. So usually what we do is, when international players wants to practice at the venue, we give them the center field to practice and everything. So one of the player didn't want to practice in the wicket. What he was doing was, he wanted to do it in the grass. He was asking the bowlers to come and bowl in the grass, and he was hitting sixes from that. So that was something like new when we asked, like, because he was telling, in wicket I know how it plays, but in this I cannot expect what happens. So I want to prepare myself to get such shots into sixes.
Yeah, definitely you can't.
So that was something like
you can't
new
judge
for
the
us,
movement. You can't
because
judge
we have
the
always seen people training at the training place actually.
You don't have to react, okay? Because I'll then find out.
Yeah.
But I think I can get the probably guess the cricketer.
Yeah.
And my guess is going to be DK. Okay, you don't have to react. Okay, so
I will not react.
Good. I think it could be DK because he's been working really hard, and you can see the results. The way he's performed for RCB last year. It's my guess. Okay, it's my guess.
Maybe I will react. It is not DK. Yeah. And another one is like there was Indian women's team. They are very diet conscious based on their health, because we don't know, like because we see the teams like probably the team because one of the practice they had at Sharjah, we are seeing like literally they were not eating any food. Like they were having very specific foods which is like we wouldn't eat in a normal day, but they are like having only that because they are very health conscious about how their diet should be and everything. And we are surprised, like this is how the cricket has grown, like from I don't think 10 years or 15 years back this kind of a regime structure was there for diet,
at least for Indian cricket.
Yeah. But nowadays people are like just making sure the diet what they follow, not only the team which I saw, any team, they make sure that when you go into the players room and everything, you see all the food as it is. Like hardly they eat oily food or anything. They always go with the fruits and salads and all those kind of things. That is something
I
which
think
is like,
I think that credit goes to Virat Kohli. He brought that complete change.
I'm talking about international cricket. It's not only about Indian team. It's all about any international, even the women's team, everyone, like any cricketing team which is playing at that standard cricket, they are all now very much aware of what, because now cricket is not about you are 33 or 35 plus, you are going to retire. People are extending it to 40 plus, and they are playing Legends League nowadays. They are getting retired, and there is a cricket league for them, 2-3 cricket leagues for the retired players. So as you keep yourself fit, you can prolong your cricketing career until 45, maybe until 50. So that is something which everyone is working towards.
That's what differentiate good and great. Definitely. Longevity is one of the key thing. How long you can play the sport at the same level of intensity. Definitely, then you need to take care of your body.
Because of that, even I would say like the tournament rules have also changed to a little bit to accommodate this, because you see players of that age getting that fit, being fit to represent at the same time, but at the same time they are not at their prime. So to understand that and everything, you see a new rule which is a power player or something like that being introduced. I'm not sure in IPL last year it
I
was
think
there.
you can get impact player, you can
impact
swap.
player something. So when you have such player, you can see Dhoni maybe play next 5 years also. You can see Kohli maybe play until he's 50 also. It is something which, because they are fit, at the same time they are not at their prime also, but you are giving that impact player rule where they have to come and just do
Play for short period of time.
such role for maybe 4-5 hours of hitting. That is what we want to see. People are going to watch CSK playing to watch Dhoni to just come and bat or hit that 1-6. So that is what.
That is interesting. I mean, I don't know if you watched in the last season. The game was happening. I do not know which stadium. Obviously, between a particular team and CSK. The entire stadium was waiting for the other player of CSK to get out, hoping Dhoni will come and play.
Yeah.
And then the other player got out. Okay, just to play with the crowd, Ravindra Jadeja started walking in.
Yeah.
But then he went back. So I can understand, obviously it's a great craze. But the most important thing is, more than the craze, it's the skill and ability and the fitness even at this, age is phenomenal. And it's amazing. I have one last question from my side. It's, see, all the good things you've spoken about. And obviously, I think cricket fans across the globe will be very thankful for Bukatir Group and keeping the cricket legacy alive over here. The key question I have is, what are the challenges of a COO of such iconic stadium? You have spoken about all the good things. I'm sure in every profession there are challenges. There are good days and bad days. If you have to give some 3 or 4 challenges, what would it be?
See, I would not say it is challenges as such, because it comes with the job. That is your job role is actually. But see, at the end of the day, stadiums are white elephant. You see all the international games or whatever it is, at the end of the day, it is not like what you think we make or something like that, unless you have a good international games happening throughout the year. Okay, when you say 2021, 2020 where IPL and World Cup happens, good years. But apart from that, it is very difficult to meet the year's end when you are being questioned, because you made in 2020 and 2021 this much, but why it dropped down to this? But international didn't happen, maybe COVID didn't happen. But I cannot, being a CEO, I cannot go and, when we are having a board meeting at the end of the year for the next year plan or the next 3 years plan, when we are presenting, that I cannot put IPL or a World Cup in every year's budget. So that is something which makes it challenging to make the board understand that this is what happens throughout the year. But we have done things like to bring domestic cricket in picture, and we have done, like I told, we did start with 150 games in the first season we did, and we gave it for a rights fee for an X value. In the next year we did very good amount. The value also went up and the number of matches also went up. So we have been doing our revenue from domestic games, not relying on international cricket, because you cannot rely on international cricket as such, because there should be some problem. Then it comes that also not sure. Take the recent Champions Trophy which is going on. We are all wishing when it comes, but the thing is we don't know where it is going to happen. Like 2 days back I saw South Africa, yesterday I saw India. So it is like changing. So we wish like whether it will come to UAE.
So
or
obviously
not.
When you're doing a planning for it,
it is very difficult to plan your complete year, but at the same time the bottom line, we have to meet that bottom line. But good thing with us as this thing is, my CEO is very
supportive and he's looking at the welfare
he understands and everything. So I don't think from 2020 or 2021 until now, whatever profit or anything what we have made is being taken by the stakeholders at all. It is always put back in the form of investments, because the LED floodlights which we invested, it costed almost 4.5 million dirhams. So to do such investments from the because it is, stakeholders could have just taken the money out and say like let it be as it is, but they wanted to invest back in cricket, whatever they, and my CEO has told, if it is not negative, I don't mind.
I have one question on that. So do you think if UAE gets the status of a test playing nation, then cricket will flourish in this part of the world?
That's what, like I told, in next 4-5 years, if UAE does good and come into that ranks, then the things will change. You have seen what Afghanistan has rised in the previous, maybe last decade, you would say, what they used to be and what they are now, and competing at that level and all this stuff. Us being a home ground for them, the second home for them, and we have supported them always throughout this time and everything. we could see what potential if UAE itself does it actually, because it is a home ground for them. All the three grounds will be utilized throughout the year. UAE will have its own FTP where they play maybe India or Pakistan and maybe subcontinent countries. So that will create a huge impact. And UAE is doing slowly playing such nations as well, because last year itself we hosted West Indies, UAE played Afghanistan series, UAE played against New Zealand. There was a series. So we are in that way
In the
actually,
path to
in a
rise
path
up.
to rise. And in the next 4-5 years, if we become a full member like how the other members are, then it will be like, then of course all the three stadiums in UAE will be like happy to host all the cricket what is happening, and we are always ready for it. So that is what the giving back what it would be for UAE cricket, and for us also. It is like we all wish UAE cricket to reach that full member status, so that everyone is happy with
Yeah, and the entire
all
ecosystem
happening.
will change for this.
As we moving to the end of the episode, I have last question for you. How does the economics of operating a stadium works? Like, if because you've been managing this stadium for a long time, just for us, break down how does the overall PNL look like various revenue streams, various cost streams. How often you have to do the capex, like you said that you had to replace the lightings and stuff, right? So just break down for us the economics of running the cricket stadium.
See, the major one, the income stream is international cricket. When international cricket happens, the hosting fees what we get, that is the major revenue stream. If that is not happening, the domestic tournaments what we do in the form of team entry fees and the live streaming fees, we have given the rights for live streaming and fan code. So that live streaming fees is major thing. And hosting of matches like corporate leagues or booking of the ground, and we do concerts as well. We have done AR Rahman show in the past, we have done SEMA awards, we have done a lot of functions like that in the past, and we used to do a lot of Bangladeshi events, concerts, Pakistan concerts. Lot of such things happens at the
So
venue as
asset
well.
utilization, whatever.
Yeah, so whatever we use that part. And like I told, throughout the year to run the things, we have an academy where we get our revenue from, and we have a gym and swimming pool facility and an indoor paddle and badminton facility. The revenue comes from there. As a cost factor, the costs are always there. Being an old stadium, you always have maintenance as one of the biggest thing, and also the manpower, like that is another thing. uh, uh, and then the other things would be like, see, we are not a government entity. At the end of the day, we are a private organization. Bukatir Group owns Sharjah Cricket Stadium, so it is not you get fundings directly that you utilize. This is the fund given to, unlike in India, the BCCI gives a certain value or an amount to all the state associations. This is not like that. Here every funding
money
has
from
to
the
come.
pocket.
You have to make your own money to spend it actually. So it's kind of a difficult dynamics to work with and all this is. But at the end of the day, like I told, the other costs involves, these are the major costs in this thing: manpower and maintenance and all the other things. When you're hosting a cricket event and everything, all that comes with it to make it world class. There are a lot of investments you have to do. Like I told, is lights is one thing. Sharjah Cricket never had boxes before. My CEO was very adamant on it to get it done before the next IPL comes in 2021, because 2020 we never had the box because it was closed when he was expecting 2021, but it didn't come at the first time, but it came with the World Cup also. So he did completely break one section of the stadium to make boxes to come to the standard of today's cricket, because VIPs, guests, everyone wants separate boxes and everything. So we have done that kind of investments throughout the year and everything. So it is like that.
So one is a question. Is there a concept of becoming a lifetime member of Sharjah Cricket Stadium or something? Is there such kind of a membership which Sharjah Cricket Stadium provides
As of
for
now,
people to
we
become?
don't have any such thing as such, but of course, we don't have specific thing like that. But of course, we have our GM, General Manager Mazhar Khan, who knows and ins and outs of people who have been with us for past and who have supported UAE cricket and Sharjah cricket all these years and everything. So we make sure whatever we do, when it comes from them, you don't need to be a member, but we know them. So everything they want is being taken care of. So we don't sell it as membership or anything, but we
Depending
do
on
have
what
a
they
good
do.
relation with all the people. So based on that, we always try to help out our members. They are not officially our members or something, but they are our members actually.
Second thing is, now that the international season is done,
Yeah.
a lot of my friends and colleagues are asking when am I going to officiate a game.
Okay.
I'm not trying to put you on spot. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
I think it would be fantastic to hear from you at some point in time to be able to officiate some game in Sharjah cricket. You don't have to answer the question.
Okay.
It's a point I've said.
This marks the end of our episode. Thank you, Sivakumar, for joining and giving us such interesting insights of
Thank you both also.
Yeah, and if you found our conversation interesting, please subscribe to our channel for upcoming episodes.